vielen Dank thank you very much, Julia, for introduction. I'm working now at the National Research University High School of Economics, and I'm doing my research in complexity studies, in philosophy of complexity, already for more than 30 years. And I translated the main opus by Edgar Morin, method, nature of nature, la méthode, la nature de la nature, first volume, into Russian, and also his another important work, les 7 savoirs nécessaires pour éducation du futur, 7 lessons for the education of the future, UNESCO document. First, I would like to summarize the main message to the politics of peace and conflicts resolution from my understanding of some principles, of some backgrounds of the complex thinking developed by Edgar Morin. First point is that the science teaches us how to divide, how to analyze, and Edgar Morin teaches us how to connect. So to switch our thinking from analytical mode of thinking to synthetic thinking, to holistic thinking, how to connect, how to combine different things, how to achieve coherence in our common action, and even maybe synergy. So synthetic thinking, synthesis, and we have to start from ourselves, and this is the second point, also which goes also from the messages of great philosopher. If you want to change the world, please change first yourself. This is the very good starting point to change something. Edgar Morin shows that we as individuals are very complex. We have rational and irrational. We have some strategies which are good and maybe not good for other people. But if we want to change something in the world, make it better, we have to change ourselves and start from ourselves in our activity to change the world. And the help is Edgar Morin. Understanding of complexity. There are two fundamental aspects of complexity. First is holism, how evolutionary whole can arise from different parts, different with how a community, Gemeinschaft, can arise from different actions of individuals. Holism, holistic, as I would say, mindset. We need a holistic mindset for each of us. And the second point of aspects of complexity is deep contradictions in the very core of complex structures that do not only destroy, but also build our world and build ourselves and build our world which we create in our action. And from Edgar Morin, I was taking this from Edgar Morin, not from Terre Patrie, not another work by Edgar Morin. He make quotes and make attracts our attention to the origin of the Latin word complexus, which means what is woven and interlaced together. Complexus from Latin, it means cum with, and pleco, to weave, to twist together. So this is complexity. Complexity is how to construct a whole from different parts. What is complex thinking? The complex thinking is our thinking which teach us how to connect, how to globalize. So I will proceed to 7 principles of complex thinking according to Edgar Morin. First principle is the principle of system or organizational principle. System of organizational principle shows us how we can build a whole from the parts, paths. And I can add here that it's a common view that the whole is more than the sum of parts of something. But it's very important here to understand that the whole, the structure, for example, and the elements, the structure transforms the behavior of each parts. So the feedback from the whole to the parts, and parts which already parts of the whole are different, became different than they are previously, in the previous stage. Then they are separated. This is the principle of system, of organizational principle. The second principle is holographic principle. Holographic, everything is in everything. Everything is in everything. This principle shows us not only that the part acquire the properties of the whole system, of the whole, of evolutionary whole. The system or the structure, the complex structure, became different when a complex whole is constructed and then it's emerged. But each individual, each part, each animal also transforms in itself, and it is like an atom or a monad which mirrors the total properties of the whole systems, and maybe the systems which have a higher hierarchical level. Principle of feedback, it's well known from the cybernetics, from Norbert Wiener, the back loop, the recursive loop, from the effect, cause and effect on the cause. We can even say about backward causation, according to the principles of complexity. Backward, from the future, from the effects. And it is non-trivial, because it's we know that we have plans, desires, wishes, dreams, but in a complex world, there is understanding of structure attractors, as if aims of evolution. And these structure attractors can determine their behavior here and now, in the present. The fourth principle is the principle of recursive loop, or organizing recursion. The principle develops the concept of regulation in the concept of self-production and self-organization. It is a generating loop in which products themselves become producer and the causes that produce them. The loop between them. The constructivist view of the world also comes from this principle. So, as a starting point of our thinking and our action. The fifth principle, this is a principle of auto-eco organization, auto-eco, and here emerge the ecological approach, as I would say, and extended ecological approach. So our action change the whole environment, and the environment has a back action of us. And this ecological approach, very popular now in economics, in politics, in communication, even in human mind, ecology of human mind by Gregory Bateson, for example. Dialogical principle was in the works of philosopher. Additional and competitive interaction between opposite forces. And the last, the principle of iterated inclusion of a subject into the process of cognition. This is like world from the thing. The things restores the subject and gives him his proper place in the process. Because the classical science said we had to achieve objective knowledge. It can be objective knowledge without this addition which comes from the subject of cognition. Subject of cognition cannot be excluded from cognition, even in natural sciences, even if we want to discover some general laws or regularities in society, it can be excluded. Even it has to be excluded. Like we are also actors in the history. We are actors in our knowledge as well. This is the thinkers from the past which influenced very much Edgar Morin, Heraclite, Blaise Pascal, René Descartes with the idea of method, Leibniz and Hegel. I have some quotations from this the works of these thinkers. From Heraclitus, Edgar Morin has taken the idea of development, the idea of contradiction, and this quote from Edgar Morin method. I think that I have already not so much time, so I will be quickly passed through these slides about the precursors, the thinkers who influenced very much Edgar Morin. Blaise Pascal. Yes, I have 10 minutes. Yes.
I have you down for 15, but if you want to use 10, that's also very fine. Then we get back into the schedule. But take your time.
Okay. From Blaise Pascal, it's understanding of the limits of rationality. We are very complex within ourselves, and fragility of a complex entity. Fragility of any Blaise Pascal introduced the image, the very good metaphor, human as a reed, as a thinking reed. So we have a strong force of the main branch, the main branch of the reed, but it's fragile. In theory of complexity, there is a conception of self-organized criticality, balancing at the edge of order and chaos, fragility of every complex entities, and the more complex an entity is, the more fragile it is. And also holistic thinking. Edgar Morin quoted, likes to quote his idea about that we cannot understand the whole if we don't understand the parts. The idea of holism. From Descartes, he has taken the idea of method. From Leibniz, it is connected, the idea of monad, which is connected with the principle of hologram, the whole world in one monad, one monad. And also the connection between different monads and spiritual nature of monads, because as I said in my two first remarks, we have to change, first of all, ourselves, our mindset, our thinking, to change the world. And from Hegel, the idea of self-development. I will pass my own understanding of complex thinking, which is developed at my work. It's very interesting. I can share my slides after with you. This is my teacher, a Russian great scientist Sergei Kurdyumov, who developed his own image of the theory of complexity, synergetics. We use this we use this word after Hermann Haken. And now I will move to the new ethics. I have found a very good summary of some crucial point of the complex thinking in the Edgar Morin work, Vers l'abîme, towards the abyss, which was published in 2010 in French and was translated in 2011 in Russian, not by me, but by my colleague. And in connection with the Russian translation, with publication of the Russian translation of this work, alarmistic work, Vers l'abîme, towards an abyss, Edgar Morin came to Moscow. It was approximately 10 years ago. It was in the book fair in Moscow. Complex thinking is radical thinking, which goes to the roots of understanding of things. It is multidimensional thinking. It is organizational or system thinking, ecological thinking, which can concern not in a narrow sense of ecology, as in biology, but also to society, to economics, to political things, can be applied. And thinking creates ecology of action. Ecology of action, very interesting, very important notion introduced by Edgar Morin. And thinking which is critical to itself, thinking which recognizes its own imperfections, carries on negotiation with doubts, because there is no action without doubt. And now I will summarize about our way to the new planetary ethics, new planetary ethics, new ethics of connectivity. To know how to connect and how to establish links becomes a predominant idea nowadays, which take root in scientific creative activities, in philosophical reflections, as well as ethics of human relations. Edgar Morin identifies himself with all people in the world who chooses as their religion, and religion is a way of connection between people. According to the Latin origin of this word, religare, religion, the religion of love and integration of parts in a united and interconnected whole. Thinking which connects becomes a basis for ethics of connection, complicity, and solidarity. Politics which connects is politics which knows that solidarity is vital necessary for development of complex social integrated structure. This is a quotation from Edgar Morin. Complex thinking is a part of open rationality. Edgar Morin proposes us to understand complexity like a challenge rather than an answer. The method of cognition of complexity, method of using the complex thinking in our social activity is by no means a concrete program, but a general strategy of research and activities. Edgar Morin says, help yourself and the complex thinking will help you. So it's like in Buddhism. We have to find Buddha in ourselves. Help yourself. First of all, be different. The method is not an a priori given path, but laying down the path of working. We have no keys which would open doors of secret cases where scientific truths are stored. The method undergoes formation in the process of scientific research as experience is accumulated. It comes into being a posteriori. When developing this thought, Edgar Morin quotes the very known words of Spanish poet Antonio Machado. Path farer, you tracks nothing else than your path. Wayfarer, you have no path. The path is laid down in walking. It should be said in Spanish, of course. And our closing remark about the new planetary ethics, the ethics of connection, complicity, connectivity, coherence, and solidarity you see from the work Mais des Mondes, Edgar Morin, 1994. Thank you for attention. Thank you for attention. And these are some of my works developed, namely to Edgar Morin works from the journal Futures, published by Erwin Laszlo, and some homage to the, it's already 15 years past, 85 anniversary Edgar Morin. It was published in Mexico by the Centrum Multiversitat Mundo Real Edgar Morin. Thank you very much for your attention.